to Homegirl Talk Live. I am your host, Mar Yvette, Mar Pop. We have a very special guest tonight. As you know, Homegirl Talk Live is a place where we can meet and greet and get to know some really fascinating women. And tonight is no exception. But first, I just want to remind everyone and encourage you to please go to homegirltalk.com and just check out the site and see what we're all about, all of the different interviews that we have, and then add your story. And who knows, you might end up here on Homegirl Talk Live. So tonight's very special guest, I am so excited. It is Hollywood psychic medium, Natalie Tomlinson. Get over here, girl. There you are.
Hello. Hollywood. I like that. Hollywood.
Natalie, do you realize that you were my first ever Homegirl Talk Live guest? And it was last April 2018.
No.
Yes, girl. 2 hours we spent doing live readings. Well, I didn't do them. Live readings, just shooting the breeze. It was such a good time, and I can't believe it's been this long.
We could have booked him for bed and breakfast because we could have gone all night long, just chatting away. And do you know why that is, Mar?
Why?
It's because we're both Geminis.
We have the same birthday.
May the 26th. We've both got the same birthday.
May 26th, baby.
Geminis, which is also, it's a sign of communication. So Geminis, we like to talk a lot, and they say that the man or woman who marries a woman who's a Gemini is the luckiest because you're marrying 16 different characters.
I thought it was only 2, but my husband is Gemini too, so there's at least 4 of us in the marriage. You never get bored.
No, you don't. I was with a Gemini. He might be, if he's a June, is he a June Gemini?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, my first boyfriend was. We were together for like 4.5 years. We just outgrew each other because we were young. But you see, it does. The Geminis and Geminis do work, and it's always because they give you each other the space as well, and you both like to do your own little thing.
Yes.
But when you come together, it's nice because you've got conversation, and you don't even have to talk sometimes with a Gemini and a Gemini because even if you're just in the same room, it's company.
Yes. And one of my best girlfriends is also a Gemini, and we don't have to talk. We just enjoy each other's company. That's so true. Exactly. Natalie, you are just on point, girl. So
I'm fuzzy on this picture.
No, you look great. You look beautiful. You're always so like ethereal and angelic. And so this brings me to my first question. And I've gotten this question from some of the folks on Twitter and Facebook who private messaged me when they found out that I was going to have you on Homegirl Talk, which is there's this sort of pervading idea about psychics. I grew up, in church, and I'm still a Christian, and I believe in God and Jesus. And so I was taught to avoid this idea of psychic because you're messing with spirit and you can confuse your own spirit and it might even be demonic. Tell us a little bit about your own experience and what you have to say about that.
It's funny because I agree with you. It's a lot of old school. I'm a Christian too. And I'm not saying I go to church because my church is here in my heart, and I do pray every day. I pray before readings, I pray at night, I pray for all the people that I've read for. So I am a Christian, always will be until the day I cross over. But they say you're dabbling with the devil or it's very, very demonic, but I don't feel that if it's a God-given gift.
Interesting.
But there's also people out there who are so-called psychics, mediums, and so on, but they're actually a lot of phonies, which gives people like myself and many other gifted, God-gifted people who help people along the way. That's not demonic because I don't like anything dark or anything dark side. It's like never dabble with deep Ouija boards because would you leave your front door open, for example, and let a complete stranger in? Of course you wouldn't. So why would you do that to let spirits in that you don't know? It's the same potatoes. So very, very carefully before you dabble. And people, they juggle around and say, oh, let's do this and do the Ouija board. You mustn't. You don't do that. You don't mess around with things that you don't know about. You've got all these television shows where they go into the houses. I would never do that in a million years. I would be, I don't like it because you're disrupting things. I'm here. Spirits communicate with me. And then I pass on messages, only what I hear. So
do you
but I'm not,
see as well? Do you get images? So
yeah,
let's also clarify psychic medium. A psychic is someone who can see into the future,
yes,
and a medium is someone who communicates with the dead. Is that right?
yeah. Well, you're not really dead because you carry on. Your soul carries on. Your spirit carries on. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to hear and see what I see. I'll just give you a quick example. Um, Probably about 3 months ago, I was doing a live Instagram, and I was answering questions from people. And there was one particular situation. I saw two visions, and there were two men, but they were together, and they were twins. And they were Caucasian boys. They were probably about 30, 31, 32 maximum. And one of them was on crutches. And that's the vision that I could see. And they kept waving the crutches at me. And this is something that's recent. And I said, somebody out there is watching me. I feel it's either a mother or a sister, perhaps a wife, but more so the mother or the sister. I said, there's twin boys here who've crossed over. I don't know. I felt that they'd crossed at separate times. I thought maybe one could have been military, for example, or an accident, but I wasn't sure. He just showed me the crutches. They were literally, their visions were in front of me, like stood right here in front of me now.
Wow.
And I could describe, because they were like looking at me like.
That doesn't scare you ever?
No, because they're there because I'm doing what I'm doing. So I know it's like, usually when I'm doing a reading, it appears. It doesn't always appear like if I'm doing the dishes or if I'm making one of my soups. They don't sort of pop in unless they do it when I'm brushing my teeth before a reading.
Oh,
And things
because
like
you're
that.
getting in the zone. Is it kind of like getting in the zone, like you're preparing your
Oh,
mind?
yep. Like sometimes I'm in the shower and I'll be washing my hair and I'm hearing Uncle Brian's here, or somebody's here, or Philip is here. I'll hear names and
That's
tell
so
them that
interesting.
the sister's here. Tell them the sister's here. So I know when I do the first reading, I know that the sisters are crossed over because I kept hearing before I spoke to you, your sister's here, your sister's here. Anyway, just quickly going back to the other story. So after the Instagram live, I came off. Said, whoever can relate to what I've just told you. I said, also these boys, wherever they live near mountains, it's very cold where they're from. And I feel it's still in America, but it's a cold area. And one of them's on crutches. Both crossed over. Twins, early 30s. Afterwards, the DM comes in from a lady called Robin. And she's based in Florida. And she says, those are my sons that have communicated with you, called Daniel and Joseph. And she says one of her sons passed away, and a year later, the following November, her other son passed away. One of them was on crutches 6 months before he died. So that's why he came showing the crutches. Like, they'll know by the crutches it's me, if that makes sense.
So you use the language crossover. You don't believe that we really ever die?
No, never. It's just, I feel like your bones are left, your spirit rises, and your soul carries on. There's too many things I could tell you. I could be here till tomorrow telling you stories. It's so incredible. Spirit are amazing. We are only passing through here. We're like on a train journey. We stop at different places and different things in our lives, and then we get to our destination, which is home.
And is home heaven? And what about hell? I'm going to look on the phone right now because I know that we're probably getting some messages.
Sometimes I feel like it's hell on earth. Sometimes.
Honey, we could just mention a few things in the news right now, and yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, so we try to keep all lovely things positive anyway. But it was so rewarding to pass these messages on to this lovely lady, and I did actually speak to her, and I did a random at Christmas reading I gave away. Are you there, lovey?
I'm listening.
Yeah, just a random reading for a Christmas gift for people who are following and watching on the Instagram. And I told everybody, so I'm going to give a random. And before I sat down, I kept hearing, give it to Robin, give it to Robin, give it to Robin. I'm like, I didn't know. And then Robin appeared and I went, oh, I'm supposed to give this reading.
She's the one.
I saw a name crop up. And then I put two and two together and went, oh my God, that's the lady who had the two boys. Cut a long story short, this lovely lady is based in Miami with her husband, Italian family.
Mm-hmm.
The details of all the things that her son was telling me, even down to a shirt in pale blue that was hung on her bed,
Mm-hmm.
on her like a bedpost that she still has there of her son's. He knew about that, and he was telling me to pass on the
Oh,
message.
wow.
Immense detail.
So it's the different realms, or the two realms, this life as we know it, the physical, and then the side that we don't see. They're so intertwined and they're so close. They're just like other sides of the coin, right? Unless you've had a near-death experience, you don't really know what it's like, and you kind of operate by faith.
My mum, I'll just quickly tell you, but my mum went into hospital, and literally the next day she went on a life support machine, but it wasn't here, it was in England, and I was here.
Mm-hmm.
And the night before I took the flight, I was woken by my granddad, and I opened my eyes and I sat up in bed, and I saw my granddad's face at the end of my bed, my mum's dad. So
Mm-hmm.
I knew my mum had crossed, and I knew she was with her dad. And I saw myself putting on some bracelets that were my mother's. And she said, I always said, oh, I love those bracelets, Mum. Can I have them? She says, you can have them when I'm not here. And these are the bracelets, and I still have them on now. Since the day. So when I went to England, when I pulled out my mum's nightstand, like the top drawer?
Uh-huh.
There was a little book that I'd sent her. It was like a heart, but, crossed over into,
Mm-hmm.
so it was like half a heart.
Yeah.
And it was a book that I sent her about how lovely a mother is. And in the book, it says to, and you put mum from, and I put love from Natalie. And I opened it all up, and at the back she put, to Natalie, I love you, Mum. So she knew she was going to cross. And the bracelets were next to it.
Wow. How long ago was that, Natalie?
It will be 10 years in December. So it was 2009, December, just before Christmas.
Wow.
It's always around me, because even in my book, I wrote situations and things that crop up. And this goes for every single person. Everybody watching will experience things, but they don't always take notes. You've got to observe things, and they will happen. Like, for example, when my dad was over from England, we're having breakfast, and the trash bin sort of was over there.
Uh-huh.
And we were talking about my mum. And the bin, when you put something in the trash and it swings,
Mm-hmm.
but like as if you were going to throw a can of something in there, and the bin was starting to swing.
Okay.
You're throwing something in the trash bin was swinging, ding, ding, like that, back and forth. And there's so many things, but my mum's got a rare name, Mauricia, because she's Polish. And I can't, there's some amazing stories I can tell you. On the day of her passing, which is an anniversary, it's the 6th of December, I go to where her scattered her ashes. Mm-hmm. And I always say, Mum, show me a sign you're here today. And nothing happened. It was towards the end of the day, and we were driving back from the beach. And I was with my father, and we went into, he'd sat on his glasses, and the glasses had come out, the piece out of the frame. And he sat on them in the car. So I said, look, let me just run in this place, this optician's, and see if we can fix it for you. And he said, okay. So he came in, and they sold lovely sunglasses and everything. Anyway, I says, can you repair these glasses? This is, the metal's bent. So what we need to do is we need to send them off, but it'll only be 2 days. And I says, you okay with that? And he says, yeah. So I'm filling on the form my name and my phone number when they're ready. And I look over at her desk. So I'm a little higher, and, the cash register thing is a little lower. And I see, think of an envelope, a normal size envelope about that big. And there was a pale blue envelope in front of her, and I just noticed it, and I saw writing on it. And when I looked, I said to her, excuse me, does that say Mauricia on that card there? And she turned around. My mum's got her spelling is M-A-R, like Mary, S-I-A, Mauricia.
Well, it's a very unusual name.
Well,
so the chances that it was
rare
were astronomical.
I walked into an optician's, not planned, because my dad had sat on his glasses the day of my mum's anniversary, where I scattered her ashes. Nothing had happened all day. I always say, Mum, give me a sign so I know you're hanging out with us.
Was that the sign?
Yeah. So wait, yeah, this is the sign. So there's this blue card. It's a birthday card, and it said Marsia, MarYSA, Mauricia. And I said, excuse me, does that say Mauricia? And she turned it around. She says, yes, it's my best friend's birthday, Mauricia. It's a birthday card.
How
and I went,
weird. Come on.
No, it's not weird. That's how spirit work. And those are messages.
Too much of a coincidence to be a coincidence, right?
There's no such thing as coincidence.
Natalie, I have a question. People want to know, how do you spot a fake psychic from a real psychic? Because everybody will claim that they're a real psychic. You see those little $10 houses off the freeway, come get your psychic reading with the neon lights. I mean, how do you know those are legit?
Or things like that. And in Florida, there's loads of them. They're everywhere. I was like, good God, what is this place? It was freaking me out. I was like, they're everywhere. These phonies. What they do is they just pull you in. They tell you, usually people go, they might be a bit vulnerable or something's happened. Like
of course.
And then so on. Now, I speak to so many different people worldwide, and I do it all on, FaceTime, Skype, like we're
you do it online, virtually.
Yeah. Email readings. And I don't know anything. If I can tell you, like, I told somebody that their husband had holes in their underpants, and she said that morning to her husband, why have you got a hole in your underpants?
Just random.
Yeah, crazy stuff like colors of things, and it could be a gift. Like I said to somebody the other day, I know you're going to be given a ring, but it's a ruby. And I said, I can draw, and I was drawing the ring, and I was showing the picture of the drawing. I'm detailed, and it's the messages. And they'll tell me about a certain function that's coming up, or a situation, or I'll say to this woman, oh, your boyfriend's going to propose, and it's going to be right by a river, and he's literally going to get on one knee, and this ring is one single diamond, or it's a cluster. I'll be detailed, because spirits show me very detailed things.
And why do they do that? Is that to...
It's to it's
not a life or death situation, so why would that be important?
To them it will be, because it's confirmation. Or, for example, the other day I was talking to a girl, she'd lost one of her parents, and I think it was her mother, actually, trying to remember, but I said, you were just putting on new sheets. Like, she was making a bed and putting on fresh new sheets, which she'd just bought, and I said, your mother says you've just bought brand new sheets. And she went quiet, and she said, I bought them yesterday and I put them on today. I said, well, your mum knows. And I said that they feel like pale blue and white, slightly patterned, like maybe little flowers or something. Wow. And she actually took a picture of the sheets and sent me and texted to me.
So it's kind of like you said, it's a confirmation, and it's a way for those who have crossed over, you don't say passed away,
crossed over. It's like you carry on. It's just like.
But are they just hanging around our houses? Like, don't they have other things to do?
I think they probably sort of turned a blind eye if you go into the bathroom, or if you're having any sex and things. So then they're going to go, oh, we've got a good
girl.
Viewing.
Let's hope so.
Like, God forbid,
Natalie, you are out of control. I have so you kindly offered just to answer some questions. Oh, you know what? I need a drink too. It's just water.
Is yours water there? Doesn't it look
is sparkling though.
Oh, is it sparkle? A little sparkle.
Cheers. Hi, darling.
Astrovia.
Homegirl Talk Live. Thank you for doing this. Okay,
so by the way, Mar,
what's that?
You look really pretty. The older you get, the prettier you get.
I'm like a fine wine, right? I say the same thing to you.
I'm going to give you a prediction.
Oh my God, this was unplanned, people. Okay, what's the prediction?
Right. I know you on television, because we saw you doing a little bit on the old Fox and
oh yes, on Good Day LA for 6 years.
Now you have a microphone right there, but I feel you're going to be holding a microphone, and I feel that you'll be doing more location things for television, not necessarily your own show, like we were talking about, but I feel you will have that again, but even better. All it is people seeing you, because you're such a vibrant young lady. You've got a lovely personality. You're straight shooter, which is refreshing, instead of talking like so, some of the people just are so robotic. It's bloody awful. You just naturally, you're off the cuff. You're like, woo, yeah, and fun. So you need to be not like the murder mystery, but more like, right. Hey, we've got a party going on at this concert.
Yes.
Down, yeah.
I brought the party to LA morning television every week for 6 years, and it was the best time.
To hammer these people, all these Channel 5s, and speak to Vera, my lovely friend. She's terrific as well. Just the weather.
Oh, okay. All right. So everybody, you heard it here first. Yeah, Natalie, I say amen and amen. Okay, so let's make good on our promise to answer some questions. Easy for me to say.
Yes.
But yes. I have a question from...
Not silly questions, though. Not like, oh, am I going to lose weight next week and silly things.
Oh, let me ask you a quick question, though, before we get into this. A lot of people will also say, and I've said it before, too, if somebody's really psychic, why don't they win the lottery?
Because you're given a gift not to do that. It's not for that. It's like people say to me, I've had all that sarcastic comments. Mm-hmm. Well, well, why don't you pick out the lottery numbers?
Yeah, or the Wall Street stock market, whatever. Well, like, all of that stuff.
I have predicted some things which are out. I knew, for example, 2 weeks before the Vegas situation happened.
The shooting?
I knew there was something. I told a few people, I said, I feel something's going to go down in Vegas, and I feel like it's now. I felt it. And I was telling a gentleman who I see walking my dog, and he actually...
Oh, my gosh.
He actually said, you did say Vegas. And many other little things here and there. So it's whatever I hear, like, not the Malibu fires and the fires we've had now, but I'm going to go back 11 years ago. There was fires in Malibu. And I was writing, I was making notes about something, and I wrote fire, fire, fire 3 times, and half an hour later I turn on the news and the Malibu fires had started. So certain things I can pick up. I try to help people with anybody who's got like missing children, missing people's faces. This is where I'm going to come to tell you another story that I wanted to mention to you. Missing people, missing children, missing animals, 100%. I'll always help people with if somebody's gone missing, because people do need an element of closure, because if your child is gone missing, you cannot even imagine the fear that parent must be going through.
Well, it's anguish. It's the not knowing that is so painful. At least if you know, then that's sort of a definite, it's an absolute, right? You can, your mind can try to make sense of it, but when you don't know, you're just in limbo. That's so terrible. So
and I got this message just before you grab that from a young lady. She just said to me, I need to ask you a question. And I knew it was, so she DM'd me. I said, it was something to do with a mother. And I says, can you DM me after this? Because there was a lot of questions and I knew this was very important. So she says, all I need to know, and I need the closure. My mum's been missing for 23 years. And there was 3 of them, 3 siblings. All I need to know is she dead or is she alive? And I always sit and I switch off for a minute and I ask Spirit, in other words, like, is this girl going to waste her time? And I said, is this mother alive or is she crossed over? And they said, alive. And I said, your mum's alive.
After 23 years? 23
years. She left her when she was a young girl and her siblings. The parents broke up and she disappeared pretty much. And I think she spoke to her once when she was about 8 or 9. So that's very upsetting for a young girl, to say the least. Anyway, and you hear a lot of stories, and especially doing what I do, I could tell you stories till the cows come home, that you need a huge box of Kleenex. Anyway, and I said, you've got to contact the police. The police have a location of some sort, or you'll kind of work out something from there. So she did, and she found out that she'd been in prison.
No kidding.
Yep. And I said, so we were back and forth. She was back and forth telling me, yes, this has happened, and no, this has happened. And I said, okay, this is what you've got to do. I said, switch around names, because I feel that you'll be able to maybe connect with her on Facebook somewhere, but and try different areas. But her name is very, very common. very, very common. So there was hundreds and hundreds of them.
Like
But
a
I said,
Mary Smith.
yeah, kind of. Anyway, this lady, she located her in Texas, and this lady lives in Georgia. So she did track her down.
Wow.
She says, I don't know what to do. I'm so scared. And I says, don't be scared. Contact her, because you remember you said, all I want to do is have some closure. I need to is my mum dead or alive? Those were her words, because I need that closure. She's also got 2 little children. So, all those moments in your life when you want your mum there.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly. So, she, she said, I just need to know. So she tracks her down, this lady, and she speaks to her. And they exchange phone numbers and they have a chat. And she says it felt like a stranger, but yeah, it was still my mum. I think they've been in contact, and she said, you know what? I don't feel what I thought I would feel. She says, I've got the closure that I need to know, A, my mother's alive, and it's all okay, it's all good. So she wanted that so badly, and just connecting with me, knowing that I heard that she's alive, because she was convinced that she'd crossed over.
Well, especially after 23 years, and I watch a lot of Dateline in 48 hours, so usually the person's dead.
I didn't feel that.
So that's incredible. Yeah,
and I know, but I says, you've got to track the police, because I feel like they've got a link, and they did. And she'd been to prison twice.
Wow.
So the listing on like the last locations, wherever it was. And that's where she lives. She lives right on the borders of Texas now. And so I think it's mixed emotions, but the fact is she's got that kind of, after 23 years of holding your breath.
Yes, of course. And yeah, at least now she knows.
So, situations like that do crop up, and people say, is this person? And, my brother's gone missing and everything else. Like I got stopped in a dealership getting my car serviced, and the woman says, I know you're a psychic, because the lady told me. And she says, my granddaughter's gone missing. This is all she said to me. And I says, okay. And I just closed my eyes for a minute when I was stood there. And I said, Arizona. She's in Arizona. And this lady said to me, well, that's funny, because my daughter lives in Arizona, and that's where she lives. Now, this is in California, right? So I'm saying it's Arizona. And I said, I see her driving. I says, but I see drugs all around her. I see crack. I see everything. I said, she's surrounded by bad people. She's surrounded by bad
energy. You can sense it.
Desperate. I says, and she's getting sucked into bad situations. And I says, she's alive. Start looking for her. Her parents start looking, putting flyers and posters. She's there. Anyway, I gave her the woman. The funny thing is, I gave the woman my number and email. Says, let me know how you get on. She never even had the decency to contact me.
So you have no idea if she got the daughter or not. You just get this information and you share it, and you don't always get closure.
Well, I did see her again. It was probably about a year later, and I said, hello.
And what happened?
And I said, I just saw her, and I said, I feel that your granddaughter is okay. That's the feeling I get. She was sat behind a desk, and I could only see the side of her face. And she says, yes, we found her, and she's okay, but you were right about all the drugs, but she's not in a good place. I went, okay, well, thanks, thank you for letting me know. And I thought if I hadn't gone back, I'd never have found that out. But it would be nice if people do come back and say, hey, you know what? I'm not looking for sort of brownie points in the way of like, hey, great. I was just concerned that, everything was okay.
I think that's where you come from. You're not coming from a place of trying to take advantage of people. You're just trying to help people, and like you were saying, confirm and kind of assure people. And so we're going to open this up, if you're okay with that, Natalie.
As long as it's not too many.
No, not too many. We're keeping it. We're keeping it tight and right. By the way, hola to Americus. So Americus is or was a sumo wrestler and this fabulous actor and model, and he was on some of my Good Day LA segments. So thanks for watching and joining. And Audrad Hi, Adrad. Welcome.
Has anybody said say hi to Natalie or anything like that?
Of course, they're both saying hi.
No,
And we
but
have somebody who's an Aries. But I have a question for you, Natalie. This is from Sheila in Kentucky. Sheila in Kentucky wants to know if her daughter and son-in-law will be able to adopt Grace.
Yes.
Oh, she'll be very happy to hear that. She said it's a very anxious time for the family right now.
Yeah. There's going to be a procedure that is going to be stretched out, I feel. So I feel like a situation is going to be stretched like an elastic band. It's not going to be the easiest, but I feel at the end of the day, it will be in their favor. But they have to prove some things first, whatever that.
So it's going to be a process, but it's going to happen.
It's a very nervous feeling. And I'm sure they're on edge, but I feel at the end of it, yeah, because I heard yes.
I only feel at the end of the year? Yeah. Is that what you're going to say?
Exactly, but I just feel however long this process will take, I would say within 2 years.
Okay.
Because remember, certain situations can get delayed if you're dealing with situations with courts and so on, which I feel they will be ahead. And I've definitely seen 2 court visits.
Okay. So, I will let her know, or if she's watching, there's your answer, Sheila.
Sheila in Kentucky.
Yes. We have Mallory in Central California who's asking. She was on our original Homegirl Talk Live with you last year. She's asking if her escrow will close on time. Are those the kind of questions you answer, Natalie?
You've got no idea. I'm going to be I don't feel it will be on time. This one's a no. I feel there will be delays. And I hear the word kickbacks, whatever that means. So there's going to be something going on here. Let me just see. There's delay. I think it's to do with paperwork or something. It's like something's got to go through a process, but it's going to go back a kickback before it goes through again.
Okay.
Oh, it's anal paperwork that's BS, but they have to do the process.
Right.
And I feel like she's going to be like sweating. But
oh my gosh.
Mallory, be patient and it'll be all okay. And there's going to be another sale of some sorts to do with something else. I don't know exactly what they mean by that.
Wow. That's exciting.
I don't know exactly what they mean. But there's another sort of a sale thing involved somewhere else too.
All right, Mallory, you got that, girl?
Mallory, she's in Los Angeles, is she?
Yeah, I think she's in Central California now, actually.
San Jose area.
Perhaps? I think so, yeah.
Do you know the way San Jose?
Natalie, and she sings too. Natalie, Christie Maurice from Southern California wants to know when her mother-in-law will make things better for her and the family.
Okay. Is she in San Diego, Oscar? Oh, we can't get on to
I can't, because we're not personal friends on Facebook. She just asked through Homegirl Talk's page.
The mother-in-law has some issues that she has to deal with herself before anything else, before she can get some peace. I feel there's an element of anger with her for some reason, and I don't think it's anything to do with the family. I think it's to do with her inner self that she has to deal with. And I feel in time it will sort itself out, but right now it's like a bit of a fire that we need to sort of dampen down. But right now the flames are coming up, so we need to sort it out. But over time, yes, not immediately, but you've got to keep calm. If everybody stays calm, it will ease the pain somewhat. But in time, yes.
So that's sort of the message, is to stay calm, stay the course, and don't get stressed out.
Don't get stressed out because it's not worth it. It's other words, if somebody says a comment and you feel like going, oh, for God's sake, let it go over your shoulder and think to yourself, is this going to be important in a day from now or a year from now? Sometimes you've got to, just let things go over your shoulder. Pick your fights.
Right. Yeah, that's right. You got to always maintain perspective.
Yeah, it's something that you feel really like, God damn son of a, fair enough. But I feel sometimes people can rub each other up the wrong way. But I feel this is a person, perhaps the mother-in-law feels that she's always right about everything, and she might be a bit of a know-all. I know this and I know that, but let her. Just I go, yeah, you're fine, whatever. Sometimes you've got to bite the bullet somewhat, and I feel the
Right.
situation.
Just
And
let it go.
yeah, and I feel it's not just driving the daughter-in-law mad. I feel like it's got that ripple effect around the whole family. And she's probably feeling like, oh, God's sake, you know. But I feel it's just picky fights. You know, if unless it's something majorly serious, it's sometimes we can pick our friends. You can't always pick your family, you know.
Your friends are essentially the family that you choose. That's how I
Correct.
see it
The
too.
friends are the family we choose for ourselves.
I
And
love
even
that.
friends,
That's like on a
like,
Hallmark card.
isn't it? Oh, or a Hallmark movie. I like
Oh, oh
Hallmark.
my God. I watched so many
I
horrible
love
Hallmark movies during the holidays when my husband and I were totally sick.
No, but it's so lovely. You know why? Because
Watched
it's
so
so
many.
happy endings. We like happy. We like because we're happy. Geminis are upbeat, happy, positive people. You know, and you know, like for example, you were talking about earlier, saying about psychics and mediums and the dark side and everything else. I always said somebody said to me, you know, you're a little bit different. And there's a lady who's she used to be on the Housewives of New Jersey.
Oh my
She's not.
gosh, not Teresa Judice.
No, no. Dina Manzo,
Oh
who I
yes, I remember. She was the OG. She was the
yeah.
one with the two older kids, and they did
No, no,
Blackwater or something like that.
no. Dina Manzo was the sister of, you're thinking of Caroline.
Oh, okay, Dina Manzo. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I okay.
Well, Dina is a lovely friend of mine, and I read for her. But she wrote actually in my book, you know, she did a little testimonial, and she said, "You're like when I was a little girl, I used to dream about a fairy godmother." She says that's what you remind me of, like the Glinda from the
The
Wizard of
Good
Oz.
Witch from Wizard of
Just
Oz.
witch,
So you're
yes.
not scary at all.
Oh my heck, no.
You're
If I
Glenda the
need,
Good
I
Witch.
like to have fun. I like kindness and I like happiness, and I always think in life you should always pass kindness on. It's like never look down on somebody unless you're lifting them up.
Right,
Because
unless
there's
you're
going to be
looking
a
down
time,
to lift them with you. That's
yeah,
wonderful.
100%. Because there's going to be a time in your life when you might hit a rock bottom, and you're going to look, and there's going to be nobody there. So you've always
Yeah.
got not you don't give to receive, but I feel just keep that circle of movement of kindness going always. You know,
Well, that's the spiritual law, and that's kind of like just the law of life, right? It's in the
whatnot.
Bible too. You reap what you sow.
100%.
What goes
One of
around
my
comes around. It's
sayings.
karma. It's you're gonna
That is
get
one
out
of my
what you
sayings.
put in.
That's one of my sayings. So you reap what you sow. Very, very much what you. It's a boomerang effect. What you
Although,
throw.
Natalie, I have to say, bad things happen to good people all the time too.
Sometimes, but we sometimes find out reasons why. But especially, I know people can say, "Well, why is it I lost three people in my family?" Sometimes we don't know the answers to that, but we will find out why does that happen. Why do people?
Is it all to learn because we need to learn and evolve?
Yes, in it's somewhat. And I also feel that before, we come to planet Earth, I was reading for a lady that, it's just because I'm bouncing with stories because they relate to what we're talking about. Um, and basically, this woman, she tried to have a child for years and years, couldn't have a baby, tried again, couldn't have a baby, did IVF, got pregnant, it failed, and she lost a child. And I said, listen, the next IVF is going to work. You're going to have a child. And she was like 40, almost 48. And I said, you're
Oh
going to
my
have this
God.
child, right? So IVF, last chance, up to the max, owing money to have this child. When you do get pregnant, do nothing. I want you to lay on that sofa for 9 months. Okay, go to the supermarket, but
Right.
don't be doing working out and
Uh
freaking
huh.
out and do woo woo. None of that. Do nothing. Read a book.
What happened?
That's just because I feel that your body cannot hold a child because you're jumping up and down. And I said, when you have this child, she was a beautiful lady from Chile, and she had these big sparkling green eyes. And her husband he does presenting and stuff, and he's from Cuba, but
Cuba.
he looks like he's from Ireland because he's got this very, very pale face and
A
red
lot of
hair.
Cubans are very fair skinned, and
I didn't know that, right?
yeah,
He like an
they look
Irish.
like you.
Yeah, but he had red hair.
Oh,
And
so he looks like Conan O'Brien, like more Irish, like you were saying.
he looked like an Irish boxer that I know, right? And I said, my God, yeah, no, he's better looking than him.
But
No.
Conan's so funny.
Yeah, he is, but he's not the best looking for me anyway. But anyway, cut a long story. So this guy, and he's a presenter, and she was a producer. And I said, look, you're going to hold a little boy in your arms, and he's going to have daddy's hair colouring. He's going to have daddy's light skin and red hair. You will hold that child, and she's crying. She's, but when, Natalie, but when? And I said, 2 years, you're having a baby. Anyway, I didn't hear a word from her. Thought, it'll happen, because I see it. I saw this child in her arms. It was one evening, my phone text went off. I'm cooking dinner. And what do I say? I open up, there's half a dozen pictures. There's her with a baby. She'd just given birth, but it was a cesarean, with the baby laid across her chest. I could cry even now thinking about it. It was so beautiful. Just this baby, and it was like laid there, and he still had the and everything. It was fantastic. And I thought, somebody'd wait 11 years for that child.
Wow.
Isn't that the story?
That's incredible. And that baby, that spirit needed to be here for a reason.
I saw her holding that boy. Then I met her when he was 1 year old. We went for lunch together, and I cuddled her son, and he was so beautiful. I said, I saw you before everybody.
That's wonderful.
I saw him in spirit before she held him. And his hair, and he looks just like his papa.
Aww. It feels wonderful to be a part of that. Natalie, someone is saying, Shanna is saying, please let Natalie know the Canadian chocolates will be there Saturday.
Oh my God. Well, it's not, what did you say her name was?
Shanna or Shana Shankar.
Yeah.
She's commenting.
I read for her. She's in Canada, and she just says, I'm going to send you some Canadian chocolates, because she knows I like chocolates. So she says, just to let you know, probably the chocolates are coming.
Well, they're going to arrive Saturday, girl. Go ahead.
So even bigger hips now.
You're gorgeous, and we're all about women of all size. We accept ourselves as we are. Denise wants to know, can you tap Denise? She wants to know, and she's here in LA. Can you tap into her kitty karma? Maybe she's talking about her cat.
Yeah, you know what? Lots of times when I do readings, animals do come up. Like the other day, I was bringing up a vanilla-coloured Labrador, and it was running around a swimming pool, and they just lost the Labrador. So they do come up in readings. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, animals are such an important part of our life. But Denise is asking about her cat karma or her kitty karma. Are you getting anything? Yeah,
but the cat won't leave. They don't leave. And she could have lost the cat earlier on when it was younger for some reason. But I just thought might have been a breathing situation where they couldn't breathe very well. But definitely animals, cats, dogs, all of them. They're all earth angels. They're little angels on the earth. That's all they are. And they rely on us for everything. They're so refreshing and rewarding, animals. They're like turning on a big spotlight light in your life. They're lovely.
Yeah,
animals,
there's something special about animals. Another person asked me on Twitter if, does this dog stay with him, the spirit?
100%. My Henry's with me all the time. I've got photographs of my beautiful Henry who crossed over 2 years ago. And I knew that because all the spirit orbs were around him, and I knew he was going home. And literally the day he was put to sleep, it was a Sunday, my vet came over and had him in my arms, and I was kissing him, and I says, Henry, I'm going to see you on the other side. And he was put to sleep because he could barely walk. He had cancer, and we did he had his spleen removed. Anyway, the next day I get a message from a lady saying, I'm very sorry about Henry, but we've got these Christmas miracles. And they'd found these puppies, and they were found by a family, and they were literally left in the desert, in the Mojave Desert at Christmas. They were 3 weeks old, left to die.
Isn't that disgusting that a human being could ever do that?
I can't even tell you what people do. You wouldn't believe.
Girl, don't even tell me. I'm going to start crying.
So anyway, this box was found, thank goodness. This box had 7 little puppies. They were 3 weeks old, and they needed the mother, obviously, to feed. And this lady, Maria, a lovely lady, raised them in Moore Park. And that's what she does. She volunteers for this rescue where I got my Henry from. She contacted me the next day, and I said, "Oh, it's too soon." She's, "Well, I'm going to send you the pictures anyway. These Christmas miracles, they all had Christmas names: Rudy, St. Nicholas, Holly, mistletoe. You name it." And I saw Holly, and I saw this little. I thought, "Oh, is that a boy or a girl?" She's no, it's a girl. And I ended up seeing Holly twice, and my Holly's lovely. And I love animals, and thank God there's more people that do love animals than they don't. If anybody doesn't like animals, never trust them.
Ooh, that's a good tip. Do you have any other helpful tips for people to kind of be aware about? So if somebody doesn't like animals, now, what did you say? Stay away from them? Don't trust them.
Yeah, but I know a couple of people, they're allergic to animals and they start sneezing.
Well, that's one thing, but like you genuinely don't have a heart for animals.
Yeah.
Don't trust them.
Say, if you love animals, don't eat them, things like that. But, people do. But if anybody says, "Oh, I don't like cats," "Oh, I don't like dogs," why?
Right.
There's always there's a reason. There's always an angry reason.
Yeah.
I don't trust anybody who like animals, honestly.
We have a lot of animal lovers who are watching right now.
Animal lovers, because they've got big hearts. They always have big hearts. Anybody who loves an animal, there's even there's a thing on Instagram. There's my cousin introduced me. All they're doing for people in prison now, they're training animals, and they build up a bond. And I can't remember the site now, but it was very interesting, and it was making people better people.
Oh, you mean like the animal therapy that they have in prisons to help rehabilitate people? Yeah,
and there's a special name, and I couldn't remember the name of but it was so lovely what I was watching, and the bond, the things.
It's life changing. It transforms people from the inside out. It really does. Animals have that power.
They do. They really do. I mean, I'd love to live on a huge farm and just rescue animals. And one of my friends is starting out a rescue too. I can't say the name yet because it's not public, but anyway,
when you can, let me know.
Yeah, and but it'll be good. You could ask me another question if somebody.
Yes. Sorry. So Celine with the C.
C-E-L, yeah, Celine.
She's a pretty name. I don't know where she's messaging from, but she wants to know, will her life finally turn around? Work, finances, love, the whole enchilada. Yeah.
Well, last year was hell for her. I know that. I almost feel that she moved last year. There was a situation that changed her location. Something didn't feel right, uncomfortable feeling. But money will get better slowly this year for her. If she can keep a little bit more, I know it's hard when you go through a tough time, but it's almost like try and put a little bit of smile and just say thank you for anything that you've got. Just be thankful. And I feel things just sort of open up. If you always say, "Oh, things are never going to work out for me. I'm never going to have a boyfriend. I'm never going to have a good job." You're not going to get any of that. If you say, "I'm really looking forward to getting a good job. I'm really looking forward to meeting my future husband or future wife, or I'm looking forward to getting a new home," and try keep that positivity, because you're manifesting in it and it's opening up that way, and it really, really does. So stick to that, and I feel it's going to turn around. It's not going to be fifth gear. It might be second gear. Slowly lay foundations more solidly, and you build from foundations. If you go too fast, everything will come crumbling down. Slowly.
No, that's true.
Always.
And whatever your beliefs are, what your worldview is, we do. That's another truth, right? It's a universal truth that, as Jesus said, "As a man thinketh, so is he." And what we speak becomes our reality. What we think is what we create. So if you're constantly thinking negative thoughts, a lot of you're gonna self-defeat.
Evil thinkers, evil doers.
Girl, don't leave it on a scary thought.
So people who think negative, think about there's people that will think negative thoughts, what they're doing, and they go, "I wonder why things are going wrong for me." It's because they always have negative thoughts about other people. If you think all lovely things, and be positive. You'll get a situation where, say, a couple breaks up, and you'll get someone saying, "Oh, I hope that happens to that girl," and I hope all that's doing is boomeranging straight back to you.
So you're not even saying beyond just thinking negatively about, oh, I'm never going to get that job or that,
Yeah, so I'm going to
whatever.
say,
You're
and if
thinking
you
bad
don't,
things about other people as well.
yeah, but if you don't get a job, and you think, "Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't get that job," that's because there's something better. That next job you might get is better for you. It might connect you to a situation, to another job that could connect you to your future husband through a friend who works at the
That's
place.
right.
God has a plan. Have some trust. Have some faith, because everything works out in the end. We have to go through bumps. That's life. Everybody you see on the street, whether you're in your car, you're walking down the street, you're going to Starbucks, you grab your coffee. If you went around everybody in Starbucks with your microphone and said, have you got any problems in your life? They'll go, where do I begin?
Right.
Everyone's got issues. Every single person, whether it's losing their home, money problems, trying for a baby, whatever it is, everybody's got something. This isn't a Hallmark movie. This is reality. Everyone's got issues, whatever it is. But we get through them and we make the best of everything and just be grateful. If you've got food on the table, you've got a roof over your head, you are in luck. Everything else is gravy. And the main thing is if you've got your health. So
that's the main thing. And I learned that.
So
I knew it, but I experienced it. I got a good reminder when my husband and I were sick over the holidays. It's like health is wealth. Without health, you literally cannot do anything.
You cannot even function. You don't even.
Yeah, there's no life. There's no vibrancy. There's no nothing. We didn't even get to see my family.
I got a chest infection so bad I felt like I'd been hit by a truck, and I went on antibiotics because I was coughing up green, like olive, and he said, "You've got a bad infection." And then I'd finished, and I still had it, so I had to go on another course. It's not enough. I need more than a week, and then 2 inhalers. I couldn't breathe.
Oh my God!
Oh, time's up for me. I went, "I'm not finished yet. Please don't take me." Anyway, I just said, I've just got to rest. I was doing too much. I was doing readings after readings, and I was like, I never was going, "Yeah, but I need this and I need to see it." And I was like, I pushed the boat out too much. So
your body slowed you down and said, "I don't think so, homegirl. You need to
you're taking
watch your pace."
There.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Natalie, if you can believe it, it has been just about an hour, and we said we were going to do this in 30 minutes. Girl.
What about last time we were really
we went for 2 hours.
2 hours, and I was thought to myself, I may as well book him for bed and breakfast.
We can just shoot the breeze.
Because you know what?
All day long.
I just poured myself a little glass of vino. So I'm going to say, everybody out there, cheers.
Cheers. Where's my water?
Cheers. Be grateful for everything.
Yes,
everybody.
amen.
Just be grateful for everything, really.
Well, we do have a couple more questions. If you can just answer them briefly, because we want to wrap this up, but I also don't want to leave anybody out. And I know that we're going to get more views once this is already over and we're not even live anymore.
I want to just also, before you ask the question,
what's that?
I was going to give them my Facebook page.
Oh, yes. Please do tell that, and we can actually put that on the screen as well.
Psychic medium Natalie Tomlinson on Facebook.
Everybody, please go like her page right now. Psychic medium Natalie Tomlinson.
And on Instagram, it's because you're Mary Pop on it. It's Natalie Psychic.
Natalie Psychic, and I did have that on the Chiron on during our discussion. I have your Instagram. Okay.
And the other way around, Psychic Natalie on Twitter.
And so Psychic Natalie on Twitter. And by the way, just so people know, Natalie, she won't say this, but I will. Not that this makes you legitimate or validates you, but in a weird way, because this is our culture, it does. You have read and do read for a lot of celebrities, and you've even read for the royal family. So I just say, if it's good enough for the royal family, it's good enough for us. So I know you can't disclose, Nicole Kidman and Heidi Klum and Denise Richards, and you mentioned the Real Housewives, but you do read and you do it every day. This is how you make a living, but you don't have a little $10 neon sign outside your house. It's all word of mouth. Did I lose your audio? Hold on a second, Natalie. I just lost your audio. Okay,
Hello,
there you are.
I'm here. I'm here.
Did
Is
I
your
say?
husband?
Was that accurate?
Yes, my darling. It is accurate. So these are the websites, and your hubby's doing all the moving around, moving in a groove,
Yes,
and
yes,
I
yes.
can see that. Yeah. So can people see this?
Oh yeah, people can see this right now. So
Right. Yeah.
it's you just look up.
And also, I do little lives as well on Instagram every sort of couple of weeks.
Yes, you
Like
do, and you get a lot of views and a ton of questions.
I try what I do when I do that is I try, as long as people, because people try to take the pee a little bit and they go, they ask 24 questions. And I'm like, no, question per person, then I can get through a lot of things for lots of people. Because some people really have. One girl wrote to me, she says, I asked you like 6 times the same question, you ignored me. I said, I didn't ignore you, I didn't even see it. But now you're here, I'll answer your question. And she did actually send me an email the next day to apologize. She says, I'm sorry I was so aggressive and rude. She says, but I was so desperate for an answer. I said, no, it's okay. I said, but just I get it, but just send me a message. And what I do is I do get round to answering everybody. I spend so much time. I'm literally married to my job, answering questions, because there's some people out there that they don't always have the money, but they just want a question answering. And if I can help, I will always help. And everybody who knows me, who's had readings from me, they'll say, Natalie will do that. Some people don't do that. They don't. And when I do a reading, I send everybody my notes. So I put the notes all together, and I send you, a crystal and a little card and everything. And that is because I want them to have what I've written, so they can see it, and they can keep the notes, so they can go back and then they can get their highlighter and highlight everything that's
And they
happened.
have something tangible, and it's very personal. It's truly from you to them.
Tell me somebody who's a psychic medium who does that, because I don't know anybody who does. And that's because what I see, I like to write down so you don't forget. I know people who've kept notes for the last 20 years that I've written.
Wow.
And they've gone through two marriages and things. And I said, well, and they went, how did you know? I said, just what I hear. I don't know anything. It's only what I hear from the other side.
You're just filtering it.
Yeah.
Natalie, you are fabulous. Somebody's saying I've had a few readings with Natalie, and you're amazing. This is Lisa Gardiner.
Oh yeah, yes. Lisa
and Holly Roberts Morgan says, "Hi, Natalie."
So yeah. All these people I speak to, and over a period of years. Some people have read for 20 years. Some people 10 years, 5 years, and they say, well, they come back and they'll say, okay, everything's happened. I've checked everybody off the list. Everything.
Wow.
Now I just want to know a few, and I'll let people ask questions, but let me tell you what I can hear, and then towards the end, then I can answer all the questions. Guaranteed, I've already answered the question.
Wow. Christie Maurice says, thank you for your reading. It all makes sense. So we did this earlier in the show.
That was Christie Maurice, because I wrote down, and she's in Southern California. Did she just say that she's anywhere near San Diego or anything? Because I feel like
Christie Marie, can you, I don't know if you're still watching, but if you are, or if you see this later, can you let me know, or I can ping you. I can ping Christie Marie later. Also, Celine says, your voice reminds her of her dear Aunt Caroline, and she loves listening.
Oh, she must be
And
British.
Sheila sends all her love. Hey, Sheila in Kentucky, thank you so much for watching.
I always wanted to go to that Kentucky Derby because it looks fun.
Oh, yes. It's
the
what is it, the most, I just wrote a story about this too, but it's like the most intense 2 minutes in sports or something like that. The Kentucky Derby. The fabulous hats. It's all about the fabulous hats.
It's like Royal Ascot, it's like Royal Ascot.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And Selena's in upstate New York, by the way. Hey, Dave. Yes, we're all animal lovers. Rebecca is asking, did Larry love me?
Yes, but not as much as she loved him. So I feel that might have been a little bit of a flaky little bit. That relationship was a bit wobbly, I feel.
Another one, Joanne. I'm sure you get a lot of these kinds of questions, Natalie. Joanne asks, will I finally get him? Move if so, job.
No, she wants one question. What was the question? Is she asking about?
Will I finally get him? She doesn't say a name. She just Joanne is just asking, will I finally get
Does she
him?
mean get him as in physically get the person, or does she mean like get him like in the head? I wish people would
I don't know.
get him.
I don't know.
She's trying to obviously.
Oh, she's saying, will I move for job or for him?
Job. Not bothered about the him. There's too many negatives and not enough pluses for that situation, I feel. But the job will take her in the right direction. Tell her to listen to your intuition. She's going against the grain. I can feel it. But she's definitely putting things in boxes, because I see her taking, you know, when you take cups and mugs out of a cupboard, I see everything going in the kitchen in a box, is like you're packing. So there's going to be another move. Yeah, there's another move for her as well.
Joanne just mentioned, she said, will I get Wayne? So I guess that was the him in question.
The job's the one she's going to go for. That might take her on a different route. I feel that Wayne's he's juggling a situation. So I don't know if it could be a bit of a sticky situation, that. I don't know if there's somebody else around. Oh, by the way, if anybody wants to know a few of my little stories and stuff.
I mean, we didn't even talk about this, and I'm on the hour plus mark. Who turned on the light? By the way, Rebecca says, thank you, Natalie. You are exactly right. So you just got confirmation there.
About which one? What was that question?
Rebecca, I think she was the one who asked if Larry ever loved her.
Oh, right.
Who turned the light on? Can we just talk about this very quickly before we wrap it up? This is your book. If you go to homegirltalk.com, we do have a link to it. There will also be a link on YouTube. Of course, we can find this on your Facebook page.
Yeah, you can on my website, natalietomlinson.com.
natalietomlinson.com. And
T-O-M
so
on page as well.
On what?
T-O-M. People put T-H. T-O-M like this. I'll just show you.
Who's calling? Do you hear that?
No.
There's a weird calling noise. Oh my gosh, it better not be. Woo. So what the hell's going on? It's a spirit saying, girl, you guys have been talking too long. So who turned the light on? Now I have a question for you. This is a book that, is about your journey. Girl, I have sweaty pits. That is disgusting. Did you foresee that, girl?
Did you use deodorant?
Did you give the psychic reading about my sweaty armpits?
No, but if you use deodorant, you're in good shape. So
I use all natural because it absorbs into our skin, and we know that we do not want to absorb chemicals. So you don't need a psychic to know that, people.
You can always lift up from the collar.
I'm like Kathy Griffin at New Year's Eve.
You'll be okay.
I'm keeping it real, right? I'm not afraid to look a little bit funky.
We all must be real. Don't put on the show. Let's be real.
Let's be real. Natalie, we have to have you back on. I love you so much. Who turned the light on? Yes.
You can get it on like Barnes & Noble.
Yes.
Amazon.
And on your website, on my website, homegirltalk.com. Just go to homegirltalk.com. Everything you need in life is there. And by the way, who turned the light on? I want to ask you, because a lot of people who have crossed over say that the light turns on. Was that a reference to how people on the other side communicate with us?
Not that wasn't the title. It's because a light went on in my room.
That's why that's the title of your book, because the light went on in your room?
Yeah, there's a story behind it, but
okay, so you have to get the book to understand that.
It's right from my childhood, but it's not like a drawn out thing where you're going to get bored. There's 54 pictures in this book, so each story tells, there's lots of colour with it as well. So it's good. It's interesting. There's also testimonials. There's some great stories with, like, for example, if I did a reading, I might have drawn something. There you go. I might have drawn something. And then when this person experienced the situation or where they've been, they've taken pictures of the situation and they've put it against the picture that I drew.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's
it's kind of a journey too, to say, along with the testimonials and this
it's,
sort of
yeah, but great
this sort of
stories, and also my journey and a bit of radio. I talk about
look
9/11
at these
and
pictures.
about cancer and stuff. There's some stuff in there that I feel that people will relate to. There was a woman who read this book in Arizona. I think she was one of the first 10 people that read it. And she says to me, she was a stewardess, funny enough. And I used to live with stewardesses way back in my 20s. And one of them being my cousin. And there's a story. Oh, this is a dedication to my mum.
Oh,
The
let's
book
see
was,
that again. Your mom is so beautiful. Beautiful
yes.
like you.
Oh, you're too kind. Yeah, this is just that was the dedication
You
as
have
well.
such a strong love for your mom. Every time, not that we talk all the time, but every
Yeah.
time I see something on your Instagram page or whatever, you just, your room, people can't really see the background right now, but you have mementos and things from your mom. You have her photo. You're very connected to your mom.
My mum was such a positive force, and yet she was yet very simple. She never moaned about anything. Now, I hear people moaning about absolute bullshit, and I'm going to say bullshit again because people do, and life is not about that. You can't keep moaning about things. You have to get on with your life. We've all got something to moan and groan about, but what's the point? It doesn't change any facts. You've just got to keep on going and, just carry on. I remember once moaning to my mum about something, and she just said, Natalie, you have a gift. You've got a beautiful life. Get on with it. She would say less is more, and she was right. Everything she said was spot on, and she never moaned. She was a gin and tonic at 5 o'clock. She was very British in that way.
That's
And
probably why she didn't moan. She said cocktail hour. She
cocktail
had
hour,
the secret to life, which is the simple things, right? Just
yeah,
enjoy the simple things. Life really doesn't have to be that complicated.
yeah, she loved a gin and tonic before dinner, and or a couple of them. And she was always happy. She was always upbeat, and she was a very positive force. And all the things, the story I told you about seeing the blue envelope with a name on her birthday in the opticians. That's actually in the book
I
as
would have
well.
passed out or fallen over. I mean,
Well, I did. I
like
said to my
if
dad,
that really happened, which I believe you, of course,
well, my dad was
that's like
there.
beyond. Like that's not normal. Like that's not coincidence. That would
Right.
be like the
And then,
sign that says
yeah, and
this
I
is
said,
real.
and my dad was in the store, and I said, Dad, come over. So he came over, and I said, look. And he looked, and the card, she turned it around, it was facing, just like an envelope.
Is that
It's-
crazy or what?
She was seeing her friend, Mauricia, for dinner that night, because she was telling me this lady, she was pregnant. I remember her belly sticking out.
That's
And
so
she
wild.
was a baby. Yeah. She was like 8 months pregnant, and she was meeting a girlfriend for dinner, and it was her birthday, and she was also called Mauricia. But my dad just went to me, there's the sign. And I says,
Wow.
exactly. Because I asked for a sign that morning. I says, just give me a sign. And if my dad hadn't have sat on his glasses, and this was planned, and I didn't have run to that
Right?
before the shop closed at 5:45, would
You
never
you
have seen
wouldn't
that.
have experienced that, but that's why it's almost like
So,
when you believe, once the thing happens, whatever it is that is
yeah,
supposed to happen, you can then look back and reflect and connect all the dots. And like you
yeah.
said, if that
And
hadn't happened, this wouldn't have happened. And it's a whole, and so you
is it
have to just take the good with what we might perceive as the bad and just keep moving forward.
always? And the funny thing is that I've met and spoken to a lot of people who've seen a lot of spirits in their life, and some things are very unexplainable. And I've seen and I've taken a lot of pictures and different situations. I've seen things that are unexplainable, almost like Starlight Galactica, and we are just passing through here until we go home.
Isn't
This
that the
is,
truth?
we're very, very, when you see masses of ants, we're just like ants, really,
I
and we're
know.
here to learn lessons, and then we go home. So, people sometimes get a fear of so-called death, but you don't. You just
Right.
go through that door, and you go into a big room, and it'll be full of people that you know, and you'll see them again. It'll be lovely.
Oh my God, I'm gonna start crying because I'm gonna think about my dad. But two more questions and then we're done.
Okay.
Holly Roberts Morgan is asking you, when will we move? We don't need this big house.
Holly Morgan. Yeah, because I've read for her as well. This year, I feel.
This year, Holly.
Yeah.
This is your
It's
year.
got, it's got quite a few months, so I do feel it'll be this year. I'm not sure on the exact months, but it's coming. It's like the preparations happening soon in
That's
the next couple
excellent.
of months. In the next
Celine, by the way, Natalie is in the States. She's asking if you ever visit the States. It's that British accent that got
Yeah,
her.
I'm in Los Angeles.
She's in Los Angeles, darling. So
Yeah,
you can
Celine,
connect
just
with her.
Celine, don't think about getting a reading. Save your money because you need it right now.
Oh, see, you put people over profits. That's just one
Yeah,
of the reasons I love you, Natalie.
yes, but she'll be fine. She just got to get everything in order, and then when she wants to treat herself for a birthday or something, then do it. So don't. She doesn't need it right now. She'll be okay. Just
Aw.
save your money, honey, and don't be buying any shoes. Big money. And
I
all
I think it's safe to tell every woman that, yeah,
money.
don't be spending so much money on shoes
I was
or
doing a
purses or hats
yeah,
or
that she
makeup.
might be listening, or yeah, all that. But
All of that.
I was telling a girl the other day, I says, you keep looking at a pair of shoes, and I said this is recently, like in the last couple of weeks. I said they're $700+.
Oh my gosh.
I said
You said
yes,
don't do it.
and I said these shoes are very, very beautiful. I said they'll be painful when you put them on. I says you will wear them once. She says, well, it's for a baby shower, and I says I don't give a crap what it's for. Do not spend
Wow.
$700 on a pair of Jimmy Choo shoes. It's a waste of money. That's $700, I mean.
That'll kill your feet. You'll wear once and then you'll regret it. It's the Carrie Bradshaw syndrome.
So come on, pay some bills. Put it towards your credit card bill.
Or
Do
give it to
some
charity if you're itching to get rid of your money. Natalie,
yes.
thank you so much for doing this. This not a fun Homegirl Talk live or what?
Homegirl Talk, and I've got to. You know what we've got to do?
What?
We've got to meet at Vera's restaurant in Hermosa Beach, the fish restaurant.
At whose?
And you can bring that pink microphone.
We need to meet at what restaurant?
Vera, you know Vera from Channel 5, she's the weather girl. We've got to go to her fish restaurant.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The one you told me about earlier today, Hermosa Fish or something.
Yeah, we've got to go there because I keep telling her that I'm going to go down there.
Okay, let's do it. We'll do a live Homegirl Talk. I'm up for it. And then whoever's watching who's in the LA area, let's just all meet and have a good time.
Yeah, and we could do a whole thing. We could do a whole thing about all the food.
I'm all for it. And I'm a foodie, so there we go. I love it.
And bring that lovely pink microphone.
Yes, girl, this is my signature. I can't really play with it, though, because otherwise it's going to make too much noise. But, yes, this is the
ring on the finger.
What's that?
The ring.
This
that
one?
Yeah, that's lovely.
This is
pretty.
druzy with white topaz and gold.
Love it.
So
pretty.
Thank you.
Look at that one. We've both got big rings on.
Wonder Twin Powers activate.
Powers activate.
Girl, yours is gorgeous. I love.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay, we're gonna do another Homegirl Talk sooner than later. Can we agree to that?
Yeah. We will. I'm going to do an Instagram live maybe this weekend. So if anybody's got a question, not 44 questions, give everybody a chance. There are a lot of people out there.
Share, people. Let's share. No, everybody was really considerate and gracious tonight. And so I'm sure there's going to be questions after the fact. But that's why we need to follow up, Natalie. And we need to do this a little more regularly than once every 9 months.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting those chocolates from Canada. I know that much.
I love it. Yay.
Yes. Well, listen, it's a pleasure.
Kisses and hugs and
good
thoughts and positive vibes only.
Oh, always positive and be kind on your journey. Always be kind.
Oh, yay. Thank you, Natalie. Everyone go to homegirltalk.com. I will have this video up. So, no matter if you're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram, because people couldn't see this on Instagram. There's a technical issue or whatever. We can't broadcast live there when we're doing this on all the other social channels. But if you go to homegirltalk.com, I will put this up. And, of course, I will be linking to your website, NatalieTomlinson.com. So thank you so much, and we will talk soon. Where's Natalie? Is she gone?